Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Southeast.
First things first, Braves country. First in hits. First in slugging. First in runs. First in starters ERA. And first-rate prospects all making an impact. And for the first time in 4 years, your Atlanta Braves are in first place. Oh, baby, the Braves are having a good time in the Big Apple, and hopefully the good times continue as Atlanta goes for a 3-game series sweep against their division rivals, the New York Mets. This picture never gets old. The Atlanta Braves, for the first time in 4 years, are atop the National League Eastern Division. They've leapfrogged past the Mets. They're a half game up with 1 game left on this long road trip. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe with you. What a road trip it's been for the Braves. 6-3 so far. They've gained ground on the Phillies and the Mets. And Atlanta's offense, a big part of it, Joe. They exploded again late last night and broke open what was then a scoreless game.
Top to bottom, everybody's doing something to help this team win. And it's been really fun to watch because the guys are having so much fun while they're doing it. Top of the order, getting on base, scoring runs. Middle of the order, hitting home runs, stealing bases. It's been crazy how this offense has really gelled all of them together and doing a number on every opponent they run into. How about this? The team leads the National League in those different categories. They've won 6 of their last 7 games, averaging over 5.5 runs a game. And they've outscored their opponents during this 4-game winning streak by 20 runs. They're getting it done.
They are playing great baseball offensively, but let's not forget the pitching staff, too, because the starters for Brian Snitker are on quite a roll as well.
They sure are. We cannot forget those guys. The starting pitching has been the best in the National League. If you look past the first turn through the rotation at the beginning of the year, these guys have been on fire. And some of these young guys are really starting to they're beginning to really fire up some of the veterans. They're saying, hey, I want to be a part of this too. And it's catching. It's been fun to watch. It's the first time we've seen a rotation do this sort of thing since the big 3 were in order. But their starting pitchers the last 24 games, a 2.5 ERA, a very low batting average against, and they've gone 11-2. No starters lost a game since April 10th. That was almost a month ago. Getting it done again.
And you mentioned one of those veterans who wants to join in on the fun. One of those veterans is Julio Teheran. He's standing by with Paul Berg. They'll talk about this very important start today against the Mets as the Braves wrap up the road trip and hope to do it with a flourish and a sweep here in the Big Apple.
delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. And by Delta Airlines.
Welcome back to Citi Field, everybody. I got to tell you that today's starting pitcher is Julio Teheran. When he pitched in Philadelphia earlier in the week, he strained his right trap. He tried to throw through it. He was about 5 miles an hour off his regular velocity. He couldn't do it. It didn't feel better. He waited a few trays, tried to feel better. It didn't happen, so we brought in Mike Soroka, who did an excellent job. Well, Julio is back at it today. He says he feels better. He's ready to take on the Mets. Here he is telling us how good he feels.
It's all good. It's all good. We decided we were checking last week and see how I was feeling, but I would say that it was just my last start that I was feeling that I would say like it was annoying. That's why I came out, but I'm happy that it's good and I'm ready to go today.
Well, I appreciate you getting out there and fighting, trying to give this team a chance. Speaking of this team, this is a blast to watch. You got some young guys coming up, even Soroka a couple nights ago doing very, very well. You excited to be part of this?
Well, yeah, it's exciting to see the young guys coming up, and they're doing the team all see the offense. They've been doing great too. Soroka, he was great couple nights ago. He was it was fun to watch, throwing his sinker and his fastball that it caught. It was fun, and today I just want to go out there and do my job. Obviously, I don't want to stay behind. I want to be part of this great team, and I want to do my part.
Julio starting in the big leagues when he too was 20 years old. We forget, even though he's a veteran, you know what? He's still pretty young. So he's going to toe the rubber here in a few as the Braves in first place are getting greedy. They want to sweep the Mets. Big game coming up next. Fox Sports.
For 90 degrees. It is 91, low humidity, winds out of the southwest here in the Big Apple as the red hot Atlanta Braves try to finish off a 3-game series sweep here in New York. It has been an excellent road trip for Atlanta, which starts play at 18-11 on the year. Ozzie Albies leads off the Toyota starting 9 for the Braves with Ronald Acuna Jr. Freeman and Markakis, big nights last night, 3rd and 4th. Kurt Suzuki's behind the plate, and then a couple of changes. Johan Camargo is in at shortstop for the Braves. Dansby Swanson out with a sore left wrist. Charlie Culberson gets a start at third base. Julio Teheran will pitch and bat 8th. And Ender Inciarte, Joe, 6 for 12 since moving to the number 9 spot on the Atlanta lineup card.
The way the lineup is set up right now, it's really working. It's clicking. No reason to change it. Substitute a few people in there to get him some at bats, but nothing really changes. Jason Vargas is 35 years old, 6 feet 210, out of Apple Valley, California. The Mets signed him, and then he got hurt. In his glove hand, he injured the hamate bone, had to have surgery, so this is only his 2nd start. His first one he'd like to forget. He got clobbered out in San Diego. He does not throw hard. He is a finesse guy, and the Braves are going to have to be patient with him.
But he was an 18-game winner with the Royals last year and made the All-Star team in 32 starts. And he is about to throw his first pitch as a Met since 2007. And this will be his first pitch thrown as a Met at Citi Field. And the first pitch is bounced to short. Long throw, and Ozzie beat it. Infield hit. Excellent start for Albies, an infield safety, his 2nd hit of the series. And we are underway in New York with a leadoff single.
And watch him explode out of the box, because Rosales had to kind of throw against his body, and one hopper over there didn't get as much steam on that throw as you'd like. Said Rosario, beg your pardon.
So Ozzie at 278 aboard to start the game. Here's Ronald Acuna, and he takes a strike. What kind of a challenge is it for hitters? As you mentioned, the first 2 games of the series, the Braves saw 96 to 98 mile-an-hour heat. Now a quick turnaround against a soft tossing left-hander.
Well, the only real scouting report the guys were able to get was from Peter Moylan.
Fly ball left center. It's playable for Conforto or Cespedes. It'll be the next center fielder, Michael Conforto. Ozzie went halfway, thought about tagging up, could have made it as the throw sailed over second base. But there's the first out.
Peter Moylan played with Vargas last year in Kansas City. He was just urging the guys to think off speed and then think even slower than that. I asked Freddie Freeman about it. I said, what do you got for me on Vargas? He said, nothing. I have absolutely nothing on him. I'll be swinging on the first pitch. And I said, well, what's new about that?
Well, it certainly worked. 37 hits for Freeman, tied for the most in the National League. Nick Markakis also has 37 hits, and these 2 lefty bats back-to-back in the order are feasting against left-handed pitching too. That continues here in game 3 of the series. And the last point about Vargas throwing his first pitch as a Met in his home ballpark, first time in 11 years. That pitch last thrown was at Shea Stadium.
Yeah,
when he was with the Mets, not here at Citi Field. So it's been a long time in between his Met stints. In fact, he's one of 5 players to go 10 years between appearances as a Mets player in their franchise's history.
Well, he's had a ton of injuries, but it speaks to his perseverance and perhaps the fact that he's left-handed.
Yeah, I've heard that somewhere. In our game, 1 strike for Freddie Freeman with Albies at first after his infield hit. And that's taken low.
His fastball is 84 to 88. Tops out below 90. He has a changeup. He's got a split. You just saw a curveball. It's kind of a big sweeper when he uses it.
A little number hit towards second base. Albies tried to avoid the tag. He was out of the baseline, and Albies is going to stand at second base saying he never left. Second base umpire Mike Everett says he tried to avoid the tag of Cabrera and left the baseline, and he's going to be called out at second base.
I don't think that's something they can appeal, but Brian Snitker's going to come out to talk to him about it. Mike Everett is not a guy that does a lot of discussion. Cabrera had to charge the ball. Came inside the line, missed him.
That's not out of the baseline. He moved a foot to his right. If he took a big wide turn, I'd buy the argument. He just danced out of the way with his athleticism, moved a foot out of the way, and Cabrera missed him.
Yeah,
that's a bad call.
Yes, it was.
So tough break for Albies. Freeman trades places with him at first base with 2 outs. Again, that's not reviewable. And Ozzie loses the argument. And Markakis fouls 1 out of play left side. He and Everett will have a chance to talk it over when Ozzie goes out to play second base. The whole purpose of that play for Ozzie was to try to avoid the tag, and he did everything he could to do just that.
Yeah, he didn't run out of the line. He just dodged the tag.
Sliced out of play for Nick, and the count 0-2. Nick has been cleaning up for Atlanta, hitting behind Freddie Freeman. He's riding a 9-game hitting streak. As I mentioned, 37 hits ties him for first in the league, and that 9-game streak is our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot. 0-2. Freeman's running, and a line drive down the right field line. If that stays fair, the Braves might be in business. Here comes Freddie around third. He is going to score, and Nick Markakis on an 0-2 pitch doubles to give the Braves the lead. The Braves have scored 30 first-inning runs this year. This one gives Julio Teheran an early lead.
He fought off a couple of tough pitches, and then they decided to try and trick him. Big, slow curveball, dropped it right in there. Remember when I was talking to you about lefties and their curveballs and how they like to throw it at the left-handed hitter? Big mistake. Nick made him pay, and with Freddie running, an easy first-inning run. Should have been 2 runs, but they'll take the 1.
8 doubles for Markakis, a 10-game hitting streak. Braves 1, Mets nothing. Here's Suzuki. Kurt is wearing out lefties. And a strike. And for Vargas, he's pitched 4 1/3 innings for the Mets so far this year, and he's given up 10 runs. Big lead for Nick at second base. And he had a good cut at that one. And now another 0-2. At 30 first inning run total I mentioned, tied for first in the big leagues.
And that's their 78th 2-out run scored, which is the most in the major leagues.
Nationals share that first inning number with Atlanta. A lot of that having to do of late with Bryce Harper, who hit another home run yesterday. So he's been moved to the leadoff spot for Washington. A run on 2 hits for the Braves in the opening inning on a hot, steamy New York afternoon. The 1-2. Swing and a drive, hammered deep left field. That ball is gone. Another 2-strike hit.
Better get on the train, folks. Wow. 0-2 count. Fastball. Let her high. See ya. Kurt missed 1 fastball. He didn't miss a second one. His 5th home run.
So Atlanta with 3 first inning runs. That should remind you of what happened in game 1 of this series when Atlanta got 3 first inning runs off Noah Syndergaard and won 3-2. Now Johan Camargo the batter. Camargo's done a ton of damage. He's got a 4-game hitting streak, 5 hits in that stretch, and both of his home runs. And low and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Vargas gave up 2 home runs in his Mets debut. He's given up 1 in the first inning to Suzuki today. And the count is 2-2. Charlie Culberson's on deck.
What a good thing for the Braves too, with their depth. With Swanson needing a few days to rest a sore wrist, you got Camargo you can plug in, switch hitter. Hit a home run last night.
But not this time in the first inning. What a early strike for Atlanta. 2 big 2-strike hits. One by Markakis to bring home Freddie Freeman. Then the big blow. Kurt Suzuki's 2-run homer on a 1-2 count makes it 3-0 Atlanta after a half inning. And now he'll work with Julio Teheran, who has been on quite a roll of late against the Mets.
His last 4 starts here against this ball club, 3-0, 0.95, 144 batting average against him. He's given up 2 earned runs or less in 17 of the 20 starts he's made against the Mets. So let's take a look at his 4 keys to pitching success. If you feel something today, say something. Don't give up 5 runs before you tell everybody that your shoulder doesn't feel good. And he is a Mets monster. 8-5 lifetime with a 2.44 ERA, and threw 7 shutout innings against them on April 21st at SunTrust Park.
Interesting lineup for the Mets as Jose Reyes gets the leadoff assignment. This one popped into the center of the diamond, and some confusion. It's Albies who makes the play. Johan Camargo also joined him, but he's standing right in front of where the second baseman would play.
Well, 3 guys called for it. Culberson, Camargo, Ozzie, and it went that far from the left side of the diamond over to Ozzie because of the wind. There is a stiff breeze blowing. Normally the tall guy wins. He didn't win that one.
Here's Jay Bruce. Bruce 1 for 7 in the series and fouls it back. Mets are 7-6 so far on their home diamond. They've got 4 guys in their lineup really struggling to hit here in New York. Jay Bruce is one of them. He's 6 for 43, a 140 batting average on his home field. Hopefully that'll continue for Teheran. Missed outside. 88 on that fastball. There's the Mets Toyota starting lineup. A lot of left-handed hitters available for Mickey Callaway as that one sails outside. Ball 2. Atlanta has a shift on the right side for Jay Bruce. They fouled that back.
It's an interesting shuffle in his lineup for Callaway in that he's put a traditional leadoff guy like Reyes up there who's beginning to swing the bat a little better. He's taken Bruce out of the middle of the lineup, moved him up to the top, and then dropped Cabrera to clean up after leading off the first 2 games of this series.
Swing and a miss. Bruce didn't get an 80-mile-an-hour pitch. Teheran fooled him. 2 up and 2 down. Well, the other guy that's led off for him is Conforto. He's had a high on base, and he's dropped to 5th today.
Well, he's hitting 209. That's part of the problem.
Yep.
Good pitch by Hooley. Everything, all signs are go for him. Looks good.
Here's Yoenis Cespedes. First question, does he have the diamond chain on today?
Well, not unless he found a all-night diamond necklace
Oh,
store.
he's in the right town. If you missed it, Cespedes last night sliding into second base with a first-inning double, had his diamond chain broken, and it was Elizabeth Taylor's dream.
Oh my.
They were strewn all over the infield. As that one's fouled back. No balls, 2 strikes. I mean, everybody was picking them up. There's the slide. And then, oh no.
He was picking them up. That's infielders were picking them up. The umpire was picking them up. And it wasn't like you could barely see them either. It looked like Easter eggs out there.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Cespedes, who squibs one off the end of his bat into the shift. Throw to first in plenty of time. Julio Teheran, an efficient 11 pitch first inning. 3 up, 3 down. He leads by 3 after 1. game live or on demand at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for all the details. And Braves country is nationwide today. Fans are watching from all 50 states this afternoon. And even internationally, they're watching in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, Landstuhl, Germany. And they have to be excited about what Atlanta's done to start today against Jason Vargas.
Well, I hope they get to see Charlie Culberson have a good day. Charlie's got his probably fewer at-bats than anybody that started the season with the team. They've been few and far between. It's hard to get into any kind of rhythm at the plate. So he could use a couple of hits in this spot start for him, pulling for him.
I beg your pardon, Joe. That's a great point. 27 at bats, 9 of them as a pinch hitter.
Yeah.
And here we are a month plus into the season. So,
and he's a solid player.
2 balls and a strike. And at the knees from Vargas. That evens things up at 2-2.
One of the things about giving up 3 runs in the first is that it doesn't really do much to your ERA when it started at 22. Only went up a run.
You know, that's what I love about you, partner. You're always looking for the positives, sunny side of things.
Joey Brightside.
Full count. Julio Teheran next, then Ender Inciarte. We're in the second inning. Pitch is bounced towards short. Rosario fields and fires to first and gets his man for the first out. Atlanta a half game in front of the Mets, a game and a half in front of the Phillies. The Nationals are 4 back, the Marlins 7.5 back. That's the National League Eastern race. The Braves head home right after the game today. We have a big weekend series coming up with the San Francisco Giants. And we understand tickets are going very quickly for that weekend set. Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon. And then the Braves leave town again for our trip through the Sunshine State and a makeup game against the Cubs. And the Giants, by the way, are playing really well. They've won 7 of 10. Swing and a miss by Julio, even count.
It's just that one of those stretches in the schedule for Atlanta, 17 out of 20 games on the road. The only 3 at home are the 3 with San Francisco. So far so good on this one.
Yeah, if the Braves win today, they'll go 7-3 on this road trip. And let's not forget, they lost the first 2 games to the Reds in Cincinnati.
Yep.
One ball, 2 strikes. Teheran looking for his first base hit of the year. And Vargas brings it home. And Julio loops one over second. That ball's going to drop. He's got that first hit. Another 2-strike hit. Well, that's got to be so demoralizing for a pitcher that he can't finish off these Atlanta hitters yet.
Well, the difference for Julio was he had to change bats. That's what I look at it. He broke his bat on the pitch before when he foul tipped it, so he got a new bat. It's probably a ½ inch longer. And that was the difference right here, a little bloop.
So Julio's 1 for 9 at the plate. And that brings up Ender Inciarte. Ender's riding a 4-game hitting streak. And a swing and a miss. A 6th inning double for Ender last night. He scored on Freddie Freeman's 2-out hit. And then a big 2-run homer in the 7th to make it 3-zip. Braves won 7-0 in total. This one's blooped behind third. Reyes gives chase, foul ground, and can't come up with it, and slams into the padding and nearly went through that protective netting.
He knew he was getting close. And barely had time to brace himself, if at all. You know, the one guy I had my concerns about with this pitcher batting 8th was Ender, how he would take to it, but he's 4 for 12 since it happened. Home run last night, triple his first time up after that move.
He's stinging the ball quite frequently from this spot, and what an asset at this stage of a game to have him batting there ahead of Albies and Acuna. Like I said before, I've never been a real big advocate of it unless you had the right personnel to put in the 9 spot. Boy, it makes a lot of sense for the Braves.
Well, it's really something you see with the American League. You put a fast guy 9th with the DH in effect to do exactly what you're talking about. Stack it potentially with 3 fast guys in front of your number 3 hitter. Something Tony La Russa did a lot when he was with the Cardinals to try to help Albert Pujols bat with the bases loaded a few extra times during a season. Two balls, 2 strikes. And a high fly ball to right that Jay Bruce will gather in, and he does for the 2nd out. Well, the great luxury for Brian Snitker, Joe, it seems no matter how he stacks this lineup, the Braves first in runs, hits, doubles, average, on base percentage, and maybe most importantly in this 3 outcome game we're seeing around the major leagues, fewest strikeouts in the National League.
Entered play today with 237 as a team. What's Cespedes got? 220 already?
Well, close. He's got 45. Yeah, a month in.
Man.
And as you said, in April, the end of April, more strikeouts than hits in Major League Baseball, something that had never before happened. Fly ball foul back our way and into the seats for Albies. And Ozzie has a 1-1 count.
Ozzie came into the game hitting .225 left-handed, but he was 12 for 24, now 13 for 25 as a right-handed hitter. 5 doubles, 4 of his 9 homers.
So when you have your right-handed hitters, or I should say in this case Albies a switch hitter, handling the bat well right-handed, and left-handers Markakis and Freeman who hit lefties well, you can understand why it doesn't matter who the opponent throws at the Braves, they're going to give you quality at bats. Sharply hit toward third. Reyes kicks it. He's going to throw to second, and that's going to get Julio Teheran. Heads up play by Jose Reyes, knowing who was running from first to second. He forces Teheran, and the Braves are out of luck in the 2nd inning.
To sweep, they're up 3-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. Now Julio Teheran as a pitcher strained that right trap. He was throwing 85, 86 miles an hour. I have to tell you, you can throw all the bullpens you want, but when you get in the game and they put the upper deck on the stadium and you have to let it fly, that's when you really find out how you feel. Julio is already up to 90 miles an hour, even more impressive. Nice breaking balls at 80 miles an hour. And guys, he's 1 for 1 in the 8 hole, proving he's very comfortable with the lineup change. Back to you.
It's a good sign, wasn't it, Paul? Seeing at 90 miles an hour. That might get even better as the game goes along.
One thing's for sure, when he was on base after his base hit, he didn't have to put a jacket on today.
Yeah, 91 degrees at first pitch. But you will not get a complaint from anybody.
No.
Including the Mets, as cold as it's been in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. So Cabrera, Conforto, and Gonzalez coming up for the Mets. We're in the second. Cabrera batting fourth, is fourth in the league and hitting at .327, 17 RBIs for him. He's 1 for 7 so far in this series. For me, what's been so fun to watch with Julio this year has been his evolution as a pitcher. It's not just about how hard he's throwing. It's been, I think, his ability to change speeds with all of his pitches, and I really believe that Anibal Sanchez has been a huge influence on Julio with that regard.
No question about it. The same two things, though, that have plagued them in the last couple of years still show up on his stat sheet that require some attention. 16 walks in 30 innings coming in, and 6 home runs. Walks and homers.
And he's gone 3-0 to Cabrera here. And he got the call there. 3 balls and a strike. Well, the Mets were really grumbling about the strike zone last night.
Grumbling? Is that what
Line drive foul. Todd Frazier was quoted in the papers today saying he wanted to meet with the commissioner about what he feels have been some really bad strike zones. And he was very clear to say, I'm not taking anything away from what Sean Newcomb did last night, but the last 5 or 6 games he feels the Mets have not been getting good ball strike work behind the plate. I thought Barrett last night had a big zone, but it was a very consistent zone for everybody. If you're complaining in the 9th inning about the strike zone, I'm not sure you're paying attention to what's going on.
Braves were complaining too about, borderline calls, but he was consistent, I thought, all night.
So a full count for Cabrera, the Mets second baseman, nobody on or out. And lifted out of play. We'll do it again.
One thing that'll probably help Cabrera is the growth of Rosario to the big leagues. Cabrera able to move over and play second base, less taxing, probably saves his legs a little bit. He's a good hitter. Nice production out of the second base spot for the Mets.
And Julio comes back from a 3-0 count to strike him out. 4 up, 4 down for Tehran. And Cabrera looked back in disbelief. He couldn't believe he missed it.
At 90 miles an hour. Right there. Right in his wheelhouse. And he couldn't believe he missed it. Some good action.
So 2 strikeouts for Tehran. Here's Conforto. Michael hitting .209. Another Met that's really fighting it at home. Conforto 3 for 22 at the plate here at Citi Field. He gets a bit of a pass because of that really bad shoulder injury he suffered last year. It required surgical repair, dislocated shoulder, and a torn shoulder capsule.
On a swing. Makes you wonder if maybe he had hurt it like on a slide or something before that weakened it.
1 ball, 1 strike. Fly ball toward right center. Markakis to his right. And he gets there. 5 up, 5 down for Julio. 2 outs. And here's Adrian Gonzalez.
One of the things that we kind of, I don't know, overlooked in a way is how well the outfield's playing together. I thought that might have a chance to be a gapper depending on how they were playing Conforto as a left-handed hitter. Nick was right there. Made him move a few steps, but they've really done a nice job of positioning themselves well, and they all cover a lot of ground.
Adrian Gonzalez, the Mets first baseman, takes a strike. Well, we noticed last night, you just saw a shot of Acuna there. Every one of the Braves outfielders has a laminated defensive card, not to tell them where to play, but just a subtle reminder of what defensive tendencies might help retire each and every hitter. I'm told those are prepared for every game, obviously, and after each game, those cards are shredded.
Well, the best laminated card that Acuna has.
Another chance for Markakis. And look at that ball carry out to the track. Odd route, but Nick gets there in time, and Gonzalez and the Mets are out in order again.
Acuna's best reference is a guy to his left. Just look at him and go wherever he tells you to go.
Well, he's going to the plate. He's coming up first in the third. Atlanta leads it 3-zip. Frankly, anybody's offense plays like this. It seems like your 2, 3, 4 hitters are up every inning.
Yeah. As an opponent especially, you're wondering if they're skipping guys somehow to get there.
Braves country, you'll have a chance to see Ronald Acuna in a home Braves uniform tomorrow night. 7:35 first pitch against the Giants. He's 0 for 1 today. A fly out to center, and that's that. A base hit to left to lead off the third. That snaps an 0 for 8 for Acuna. A laser beam to left, and the Braves offense back in high gear. 5 hits already against Jason Vargas.
That was some kind of slow curve. It's like a knuckle curveball that he throws. And he stayed back beautifully on it.
No chance for Rosario to get that. Now Freddie Freeman bats. Freddie bounced into that controversial force play. That saw Ozzie Albies get called out for running out of the baseline, which appeared to be the wrong call. Atlanta made it academic with an RBI double from Markakis and a Kurt Suzuki 2-run homer. Braves now with 32 first inning runs. The most of anybody.
Acuna's having so much fun. He is truly like a kid in a candy store. Gets to first base after a throw over, kind of does a little mugs a look at Eric Young, and then does a little spin around to get ready to take his next lead off.
No balls, 2 strikes. Braves already have 3 2-strike hits in this game. I think that youthful exuberance is a big advantage. Nothing's intimidating these kids. Just another pickup game in the park for him. And it shows. The 0-2 pitch. Again to first.
If he'd gotten off to an 0 for 15 start, you wouldn't be seeing this. It's fun because there's success associated with it. They're enjoying themselves.
Here comes the 0-2. Freeman reaches for that ball, skies it to shallow center. Conforto broke back, but he'll recover in time. And Freddie's retired for the first out. So here's Nick Markakis. If there has been one steadying force, one constant in the Braves lineup for the last 4 years, it has been this guy. Many wondered in baseball why the Braves would go sign Nick Markakis when they were beginning to start their rebuild. Well, this is why. Every year you put him in the lineup. Every year he plays roughly 150 or more games. He gets 160 or more hits, gets a share of homers, drives in 80 runs, and hits 30 doubles.
Yeah, I think the managers for the Braves over the course of this stretch that Nick's been a Brave.
Acuna breaks. The throw to second is going to get him. Acuna is picked off and scraped up his right forearm in the process. 2 outs.
Well, when you're going and you know you've been picked off, best thing to do is just keep running and hope they might throw it away. What I was going to say about Nick is that I think the managers have an alarm clock.
Another hit.
They have an alarm clock, and in June they go, whoop, alarm clock's going off, time for Nick to take a day off. In August, alarm clock goes off, oh, he's got to get another day off.
Yeah.
Otherwise he's in there every day.
Yep.
And just keeps getting hits after hit.
So a 2-out base hit from Markakis brings up Kurt Suzuki, who hit a 2-run homer his first time up. Now Kurt drives one toward right. Bruce on the run in the corner to the track. He'll have room. And that retires the side. No runs, 2 hits, a man left after 2.5. Atlanta leads the Mets. Baseball history. On May 3rd, 2008, Carlos Delgado broke the all-time record for most home runs by a player born in Puerto Rico. Well, Carlos Delgado could really hit.
Man,
Terrific player for so many years with Toronto and then the Mets.
great power. I think they had Beltran at the same time, didn't they?
Might have been. Swing and a miss by Rosario, who's batting 7th for New York. He's got 25 strikeouts and a .230 batting average. Julio's got a 3-0 lead. He's got the lower third of the order. Rosario, Nito, and Vargas. Julio's popping the fastball at 90. He's changing speeds well. He's got a couple of strikeouts. And 3 flyouts or pop outs. Line drive to center. That'll carry right to Ender, who had to make a last-minute dart to his right to spear that. One away.
Speaking of knucklers, good read on it, and then it almost shot by him.
So a good recovery for Ender. Here's Nito hitting 185. Are you surprised we're into the month of May and the Mets haven't really addressed what's been a big question mark for them with the injuries to Darno and Plawecki?
A little bit.
Catching core.
Yeah, I don't pretend to know what they have prospect wise in their system that would allow them to go get someone. And with their pitching right now, they got to hang on to everybody. You know, last year they had so many guys go down. They got some good news today though on DeGrom. Apparently that hyperextended right elbow is not serious and probably won't miss a start. So that is great news for them. But my thinking was that if they needed a frontline catcher, they'd have to give up probably a starting pitcher, and I don't know that they can afford it right now.
Unless they go sign a Miguel Montero type player.
Yeah.
A guy like that who's sitting at home. Pitch.
Cameron Rupp.
Pop fly, foul ground. Freeman looking up into the bright sunshine. The wind pushing that toward that corner of the stands, and no play. It's a ball and 2 strikes for Tomas Nido.
You know, we've seen these guys now for, this is the 6th game, 1 game rained out. So you kind of wait to see what you see from these guys you haven't seen play before. We've seen Lobaton before. We know that he's pretty much a backup guy, but solid back there as a backup. Has some power. Didn't know much at all about Nido. So, to answer your question, yeah, I'm sure they're in that mode of trying to assess where they can go or who's available.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Nido didn't get that. Julio's got a strikeout in each of his first 3 innings. 2 away for Vargas.
Yadi Molina would be a nice addition.
Sure would. I don't think that's going to happen, though. But I think it's safe to say that the Braves and Mets are in 2 different places offensively.
Most definitely.
The Mets, you have to wonder, can they afford to carry that spot in their roster or that spot in the lineup that's not producing offensively, because so many of their guys aren't. I mean, we're in May. We've got Reyes hitting at .150. Bruce is in the 240s. Conforto's at 209. Gonzalez in the 230s. Rosario under 230. That's tough. Bunt try. Julio's going to recover and flip to first. And he is perfect through 3 innings in New York. Atlanta 3, New York nothing. Johan Camargo, Charlie Culberson, and Julio Teheran go to work. Atlanta looking good 1/3 of the way through. It's 3-0.
Because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
3-0 Atlanta. We head to the 4th inning. Johan Camargo is going to lead things off. Camargo, Culberson, and Julio Teheran. Last night, Johan Camargo put a charge into one.
Opposite field, off Gesellman. You see Lobaton's reaction behind the plate. He never came up out of his squat. Camargo had come in to finish the game for Dansby Swanson, whose wrist was really bothering him. This guy can play, he can hit, he can field, and he's got a great arm.
Interesting note on that sequence against Gesellman. Freddie Freeman had a hit, Markakis had a hit, Camargo had a homer, Flaherty had a homer. That's 4 hitters hitting left-handed for the Braves that had base hits against Gesellman, who hadn't given up a hit to a left-handed hitter all year. And now Camargo drives one toward left, and Cespedes says he's got it. He does, and there's out number 1. Here's Culberson. Charlie grounded out shortly to start inning number 2 for the Braves. Atlanta has not swept a series in New York since September of 2016. They are already 7-1-2 in series play this year.
Charlie.
A bunt. It's a beauty. And he's going to leg out an infield hit.
Great idea. And a beauty. Sometimes you just need a little something like that to get you going. Like a change up too. A little easier to position it. Kept it on the grass. Make it a base hit or make it foul. This one was a base hit. Nice play by Gonzalez to keep that from getting by him.
7 hits for the Braves through 3 1/3 innings. Now Julio will try to bunt. In case he's the best bunter on the team. He picked up his first base hit last time up. Ron Washington's been a very busy man. That's exactly what you want your third base coach to be. And that's low. Julio's trying to give him an out, and Vargas can't throw a strike. 2-0. That is a foul ball. Nito tried to steal one there.
I think it was foul. It's going to be a double play.
He made the play. You know, in the early days of Major League Baseball, they had what was called the fair foul hit. You ever heard of that?
Uh-uh.
I'll explain after the 2-1 pitch. Which is bunted foul. 2-2. In the early days of the National Association and the National League, then up until the end of the 1876 season, if you bunted a ball that hit in fair territory and rolled foul, you could run, and if you beat the play out, it was a base hit.
Is that right?
Yep. And then after that season, they took away the foul part. It had to stay fair for it to count as a knock.
I never heard that.
2 balls, 2 strikes. This one bunted right back to the mound. 1 play. Julio with a sacrifice. Atlanta continues its excellent execution offensively. A sacrifice works. And now Ender has an RBI chance with 2 outs here in the 4th.
One of the things that Julio does that makes him such a good bunter, even with 2 strikes, is he does the same thing that Greg Maddux used to do, and that's get right up in the front of the box, way up in front of home plate, so that when he does put it down, if the ball goes straight down the dirt, it's going down into fair territory. And Greg was real good at that, and so is Julio.
Ender flied out his first time. He's 0 for 1. And that sweeps off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. As you know, the Braves First in so many categories offensively in National League play. Here we are, game number 30 of the season. The Braves are hitting .316 with runners in scoring position entering today's action. And an even more impressive, Joe, .293 mark with 2 outs.
Great numbers. It looks like that commercial with that camel, you know, first. Hey, Chip, what day is it? It's the first.
It's been a long time coming for these players, this organization, and I know for you fans at home. And look, we're not being Pollyanna-ish about it. There's a long way to go in the season. A lot of things can happen. But the guys in that locker room did not shy away from or hide from the significance of achieving the jump into first place here in early May.
It's tempered enthusiasm because of that, because they're all professional baseball players. They know how long the season is and they know how things can happen. But like I said last night, right now they're in first place. Right now they're playing the best baseball in the National League, maybe in all of baseball. So why not enjoy it?
Ender takes ball 4. And Vargas wants to know where that pitch was. Now he's got trouble. 2 on, 2 out, and the top of the order coming up again for Atlanta. Three runs on 7 hits. Let's see if Ozzie can help Atlanta add on. He's got 12 multi-hit games this year. He legged out an infield hit to start the game on the first pitch. He launches one right back our way and into the seats foul. And it's 0-1. As Joe mentioned, Atlanta's done a ton of scoring with 2 outs. They're up to 80 2-out runs, including all 3 today. The pitch is hit towards short. Rosario double clutch, high throw, and they just got him. He almost took too much time and got Albies by an eyelash to end the inning. The Braves strand a pair in the 4th and lead 3-0.
There's a really cool moment in this game where Ronald Acuna Jr. was thrown out trying to steal second base, picked off first, and as he was running off the field, Jose Reyes met him. They slowed a little bit, walked shoulder to shoulder, and talked. He went to the dugout. Well, that's because Jose Reyes is sort of a mentor to Ronald Acuna Jr. because he played with Ronald Acuna Sr. in the Mets minor league system, and they have always stayed friends. Said Jose Reyes, it's nice to see a young man come up to the big league and looks like he belongs right away.
That is a great point, Paul. I saw the same thing when Ronald was walking off the field. It never occurred to me that that was the case. That was terrific.
And Jose Reyes leads off the fourth for New York. Julio Teheran has set him up and knocked him down 9 in a row to start his day. No sign at all of any trap issues for Julio. One of your 4 keys. If you see something, say something.
Feel something.
Oh, sorry. That's right. Feel something, say something.
Right. Don't be a hero if it starts hurting. Let them know.
And it's 0-2. And a bouncing ball hit right side. Big hop for Ozzie. And Reyes is retired. 1 man down. Getting off the team bus at the hotel last night, Ronald Acuna had a Jose Reyes jersey.
Did he?
That I'm almost certain that he signed for him. As Jay Bruce is the hitter, he struck out his first and only time up. Doesn't get any easier for the Mets after Atlanta leaves town. They've got the Colorado Rockies coming in next. They're good pitching, and Nolan Arenado, who's been on fire. He's been a red-hot player since coming back from his suspension. Braves are home with the Giants tomorrow night. Can't wait to get home. Swing and a miss by Bruce, even count.
Another good changeup. You're talking about the Mets and their struggles offensively. Well, there's some guys they just can't take out of the lineup. This is one of them. They got too much invested in them. Ian Cespedes, Frazier. They just have to have the confidence that they're going to figure it out, get going, and put the numbers on there that they usually put on their baseball card.
Out of play foul, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, you mentioned a inning ago or so, the best news they got was Jacob deGrom. Now, he said he's going to prepare for his next start. He's going to go through his in-between starts routine and see if everything's all right. But if he had gone down, that would have been awful news, not just for the Mets, but for baseball. DeGrom's one of the game's great players. As Bruce chased upstairs, didn't get it. Pitchers are exploiting that top half of the strike zone with great effect. And Bruce couldn't catch up. Julio 4 strikeouts. He set down the first 11.
Winning the battle at 90 and 91. No, the Mets were walking around last night with their heads down, all the Mets folks thinking things were catastrophic where DeGrom was concerned, but I just kept taking heart in the fact that Freddie Freeman did the same thing on a swing. Where was it, Colorado?
Freddie? Yeah. I think it was against Colorado in Denver.
And was able to play the next day. It hurt. And he's not a pitcher.
Right.
But it wasn't as bad as everybody thought it might be.
What had everybody scared, I think, was when DeGrom said after the game he started feeling the pain moving from his elbow up to his biceps muscle.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
But passed all the protocols, so good news for Jacob deGrom for now.
And probably, like Julio, a good thing that he said something and came out of the game after 4 innings instead of trying to pitch with it.
A ball and a strike for Cespedes, who bounced out into the shift, which is what Atlanta has employed here. It was Ozzie Albies who made the stab with the glove and then threw him out. Just under the Mets logo, but too high. 3 balls and a strike. Julio hasn't had many 3-ball counts. The ones he's had, he's come back to get. Mets hitters. In fact, this is only his second one. Did he go? He did not, and that is the first Mets base runner. Yoenis Cespedes aboard to start a Mets rally with 2 outs.
He was able to stop it. I'm surprised he tried to stop it.
Cabrera struck out in the second inning. I think he was the first guy to get to 3 balls against Julio. And Teheran came back to get him. Runner at first, 2 away. And fouled back to the screen. Cabrera against the Braves has led off. He's hit 3rd. He was going to hit 4th on April 22nd. That was the game that was rained out. And he smokes one toward Markakis in right. He goes to a knee to make the catch. And that retires the side. Julio Teheran has not allowed a hit through 4 innings. He leads by 3. And guess who's coming up again? 2, 3, and 4 on the lineup card. Acuna, Freeman, and Nick Markakis. Presented as Ronald Acuna leads off against Jason Vargas. Third at bat for Acuna. And he unloads on the first pitch, and Cespedes doesn't bother to turn around. Second deck laser beam for Acuna.
Wow, that's the second one of those on this road trip. Second decker. If you weren't with us last night, we were talking about some home runs he hit in batting practice in the third deck in left center yesterday. Pow. What had a sound, didn't it? It's
unbelievable.
Even got the Mets fans humming.
There was another left fielder in Major League Baseball who used to have that kind of defensive demeanor when an opponent would hit a long ball over his head, and that was Barry Bonds. Wouldn't even give the hitter the satisfaction of turning because he knew there was no point. An absolute missile into the second deck for Acuna, his second big league homer. 112 miles an hour off the bat. And 451 feet.
Is that right? Well, is he not giving the hitter the benefit of the doubt, or is he saying to his pitcher, dude, why, I'm not wasting any steps on that?
That might be a better example. Drive foul by Freeman. 3 balls and a strike. So Atlanta's hit 2 more homers today. Vargas has given up 4 homers in 7 2/3 innings. Freddie was on his way to first. Instead, it's a full count, and here's another chance for Freeman to pick up a base hit against a left-handed pitcher. He doesn't want to walk, he wants to swing, but he takes the free pass instead. So here's Acuna. Watch and listen.
That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows up into the upper to the second deck.
Yeah, we call that Simpsonville in the major leagues. Here's Markakis, 2 for 2.
I couldn't throw one that far if I was standing in left field.
Now Nick drives one toward the gap in right center. That ball is deep. That ball is going to fly out of here. And listen to the fans in New York.
Old Nick's having himself a day. We're only in the 5th inning. Single, double, homer. 3 RBIs. Man, oh man.
He's a triple away from the cycle. We're in the 5th inning.
Was that the first pitch?
Yep. Braves are ambushing first pitches.
I'm telling you.
Against National League hurlers. 6-0 Atlanta. The Braves have stunned the New York Mets. Atlanta came to town a game and a half out of first place. They could leave town a game and a half up over New York. Suzuki as homer. Now he's got a base hit to center. And the Mets fans are going to have a chance to boo Vargas some more, as Matt Harvey has gotten up now in the New York bullpen. 4 straight hitters have reached for the Braves here in the 5th inning. Braves are averaging 7 runs a game in day games. They've got 6 through 4+ innings so far this afternoon. So Dave Island buys some time for Harvey to get loose. Johan Camargo's the hitter. He's 0 for 2. Six runs, 10 more hits for the Braves today. Another fly ball deep down the line. Cespedes on the run near the pole. It is just foul. Oh.
Had the distance.
No balls and a strike.
Cespedes is looking around like they must have moved the fences in or something.
This is the 30th game of the year for Atlanta. Here's an amazing number for you. The pitch. This is the 15th time Atlanta has had 10 or more hits. Half of them.
Oh, great. We're only halfway through the game.
2 balls and a strike. Now 2-2. Braves country's got to be awfully excited about this. They're watching in Yakima, Washington, Beardstown, Illinois, Taft, California, Abu Dhabi, and the United Arab Emirates. And Atlanta is up 6-0, trying to sweep the Mets. Swing and a miss. And Camargo's retired, the first out of the inning.
Nick Markakis' home run, his 5th of the year. His 5th home run last year came on July 18th. It's March 3rd.
Culberson with a bunt single.
May 3rd, beg your pardon.
Charlie's 1 for 2. A bunt single, as Joe suggested. Maybe that'll get him going. He's hitting some tough luck. He was 3 for 27 coming in. He's 1 for 2 today, making his 5th start. Dansby Swanson not in the lineup today. He's had some left wrist soreness. That's seen him pile up some strikeouts at the plate. So Camargo and Culberson get a chance to get 4 or 5 at bats today. Keep them sharp and ready for the San Francisco Giants. One ball, one strike. Driven foul and out of play. It's 1-2. I'll be very interested to see what kind of reception Matt Harvey gets after some more shenanigans by him on the West Coast trip. Matt Was out the night before. He pitched in relief. He was in Los Angeles. The Mets were in San Diego. And strike three, paints the inside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts. Culberson not sure about that. He's the second out.
That was a late call. It's almost like Nick Lentz debated on that one.
So the Braves clear the pitcher. Julio Teheran is 1 for 1 with a sacrifice. And if the inning ends here, whoever pitches for the Mets in the 6th, they've got to face Inciarte, Albies, and Acuna again. It's just incredible. The lineup turnover the Braves are forcing opposing pitchers to deal with. And Julio shoots one the other way. He's 2 for 2. 4th hit of the inning. The Braves pitcher's got his first 2 hits of the year, and that is going to be the end of the afternoon for Vargas. And he is going to get cheered because Mickey Callaway is going to go get him. So Vargas goes 4 2/3 innings. He gives up 3 homers. He gives up 2 hits to Julio Teheran. He struck out 3, walked 2, 11 hits, 6 runs so far. And now Matt Harvey is coming in relief in a 6-0 Atlanta game. Game 3. Braves are first in the East, trying to sweep the New York Mets here on their home field. 3 runs in the first, 3 so far in the 5th inning. On 11 hits, they have chased Jason Vargas, and now Atlanta will take aim at controversial right-hander Matt Harvey, who's been demoted from the starting rotation and is trying to figure things out in relief with the Mets.
It's his 4th relief appearance. ERA still just under 6. And very high batting averages against. His fastball not quite what it used to be. Neither is his slider, which used to be 2 of the best pitches in baseball.
The Braves scorched Matt Harvey in Atlanta on April 19th. He gave up 6 runs, 8 hits in 6 innings. 2 on, 2 out for Ender Inciarte. And he strokes the first pitch to short, race to the second base bag, and Rosario beats Julio there, and that retires the side. Atlanta hits a couple of home runs. A first pitch 451-foot blast by Ronald Acuna Jr. into the second deck for his 2nd homer. After a Freddie Freeman walk, Nick Markakis launched his 5th. It's 6-0 Atlanta in New York.
your local Ford dealer. And the Georgia Lottery.
Man, oh man, is this fun. Atlanta leads 6-0 here in New York. Let's take a look, Joe, at our Publix game summary.
A lot of A's on those hats, right?
You bet.
A lot of power. Acuna, Markakis, Suzuki already with home runs. And Julio Teheran has bounced back from a scary departure in Philadelphia to pitch well this afternoon. They pushed him back a couple of days to give him a little extra rest, and he's been outstanding.
He's allowed one base runner. That was a walk to Cespedes last inning. The Mets do not have a hit, as Conforto, Gonzalez, and Rosario are coming up. And now for Julio, pound the strike zone now. Don't give him any extra help. Conforto flied out his first time. Right there, a strike. It's 0-2. Interesting side note, Julio today is making his 11th consecutive start against a divisional foe, something that hasn't happened to a Braves pitcher in a long time. The last Brave to do that was Phil Niekro, who faced 11 consecutive division opponents from 1979 to 1980. The big difference was back then the Braves were in the National League West, not the National League East. And Julio has given the Mets fits throughout his career. Entered with a 2.44 lifetime ERA against them. Among qualifying pitchers, only Max Scherzer has a lower ERA than Julio Teheran against the New York offense.
He's locating too. Did you see that? 0-2. Kurt had the glove right down on top of the dirt. Teheran put it right there. Conforto spoiled it.
0-2 pitch. Struck him out. 5 strikeouts.
How many of those have been on 89 or 90?
And they look like they're right there.
Yeah.
It must have a little bit of a cut or some slider action to it, just to get it off the barrel, and the Mets haven't been able to adjust. Again, Julio told me a couple of weeks ago that's something Anibal Sanchez has tried to teach him. A little cutter action. Nice weapon if he's using it today.
Well, he's changing their eye level on consecutive pitches, and that's a real tough thing for a hitter to adjust to also.
1 to Adrian Gonzalez.
That pitch, that two-seamer running away from lefties, that's missed all day.
Tried it again. 2-0. Braves handed the Mets their first shutout defeat of the season yesterday, 7-0. They're trying to back it up today, leading 6-0 in the 5th. Fly ball to right, not hard hit. Markakis, Johnny on the spot, 2 down. Before Ahmed Rosario bats, let's enjoy a message from Advance Auto Parts.
Visit your nearest Advance Auto Parts store to get the quality parts you want from people that know a lot about them.
Two up, 2 down for Teheran. Rosario lined out to center. That was the ball that was knuckling on Ender Inciarte. Last moment he lunged to his right to make the play. That started New York's 3rd inning. Up the middle, Ozzie gives ground. Gets rid of it quickly, and Julio's no-hit bid continues. He is through 5 innings. He's allowed 1 base runner. Ozzie Albies makes a nice play up the middle. He'll lead off again for Atlanta, this time in the 6th, with the Braves up 6-0. On 11 hits. 1, 2, and 3. Once again, and Matt Harvey stands in the way. There's been a lot of talk about Matt Harvey, all of the frustrations he's had to deal with coming back from 2 major surgeries. Always, as you said, a power guy that could just blow people away. It's got to be difficult trying to relearn your craft at this level with the memory of what you once were still in the back of your head. Ground ball hit to first. Gonzalez will flip to Matt, who covers the bag. There's the first out.
Yeah, one would think that if he once threw and pitched like he did, it would be hard not to think you still could.
And so any path that Matt Harvey might have to getting back in the Mets rotation has to start with figuring out how to pitch and pitch effectively out of the bullpen for the Mets. Acuna takes a strike. It's well placed at 94, and that's what he has to do.
Yeah, I don't know what demons he's fighting, you know, personal demons, but he's got to get that under control too. This is a hard enough game to play when you're well rested and in good shape.
And that's the other challenge he's going to have to face as a relief pitcher, something that Mickey Callaway talked about. When you're a starting pitcher, you know exactly when you're going to pitch. You can pitch, go out a couple nights, but as a relief pitcher, you might be called on 3 days in a row, and you don't know which days those will be. Swing and a miss. Acuna didn't get it. Chased a high fastball. That one well placed at 94, and Harvey has retired 1, 2, 3 Atlanta hitters in a row. And here's Freddie Freeman. He scored twice. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Braves jumped all over Jason Vargas. 6 runs, 11 hits in 4 2/3 innings. He threw 80 pitches. Atlanta hit 3 homers against him. And after a brilliant 11-1 start, things have gone south in a hurry for the Mets. They're 6-10 since, and Atlanta's on their way to handing them their 11th loss after that 11-1 start. Fly ball center. Conforto going back, still going back to the track, a step shy of the wall. He makes the catch up against the fence. That ball carried a long way to the opposite field, and Atlanta's out of luck in a 1-2-3 6th inning. Nice catch by Michael Conforto, who handles the wall. Bottom of the 6th, all Atlanta. Not forget what Julio Teheran is doing. A special game in a special place for him.
How about this? Last 33+ innings here. Only 3 earned runs. 23 strikeouts. No homers. Fabulous. No hits today.
That's down the line, and nice catch.
Yeah.
Well, to put the hit thing in perspective, Julio has 2 more hits than the Mets do.
Yeah. Nice
Good
place,
fielding crowd.
Yes, sir. Right on that corner.
No balls and a strike for Tomas Nido. Julio struck him out back in the 3rd inning. He set down the first 11 Mets in order. It's 0-2. Out of play foul. Look how efficiently Julio's working as well. Of course, with very few base runners, that's going to happen. 5 strikeouts, though. Mets are putting it in play. Braves have had them positioned beautifully, too.
They're putting it in play because he's been around the plate. You know, he hasn't been to deep counts. Only 2 3-ball counts.
In the air right side. Wind is pushing that toward the seats and into them. And again 0-2.
You know, last night Newcomb did such a great job on first pitch strikes. It just, as soon as you do that, the hitters have got to, they've been put on notice. Swing the bat.
Yeah, Sean was 21 of 24 in throwing strike 1 last night. And retired the final 14 Mets in order. Think about that. Little pop on the infield. Freeman's going to handle that with sunglasses on. Going back to Newcomb's work as the Braves starter. The last 2 men to start a game retired 25 in order in this series, with Julio getting the first 11 Mets today. So Matt Harvey stands in. He's got a couple of hits. And this one put in play to short. And that'll be easy for Camargo. And Harvey's retired, 2 out.
Tells you a little bit about what Mickey Callaway's thinking in the Mets dugout, too. He wants to leave Harvey out there to get some work.
So back to the top we go. Jose Reyes, he's popped out and grounded out. Reyes 0 for 2 and 0 for 13 at home. Remember, he was 0 for 20 for the season at the plate when the Braves saw the Mets in Atlanta. Reyes snapped that 0 for 20 with 3 hits on April 21st. An 0 for 20 streak, the longest by a Met to start a year since Phil Linz went 0 for 25 in 1968.
Goodness. Phil Linz, the harmonica player.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Didn't know that. Ground ball to second. Ozzy's got it. And Julio Teheran is through 6 on a special day in New York. Call your friends. It's all Atlanta. 6-0 in Game 3. And how fitting it is that he finishes where it all began, in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Nick Markakis leads off for Atlanta. Nick looking for the triple for the cycle today. Double, single, homer in that order against Jason Vargas. Now he faces off with Matt Harvey.
Well, it's 6-0. So if you hit a gapper, just run till they tag you. Maybe they'll miss and you get a triple.
One ball, one strike from Harvey. And out of play foul. In case you wondered, the last Brave to hit for the cycle was Freddie Freeman, June 15th, 2016 against the Reds. Markatse has a cycle. Albert Hall has a cycle for Atlanta.
Braves were a long time between cycles until Katse got his.
And that's taken downstairs 2-2. Your thoughts on Ichiro and what kind of a career he had?
I'm just glad that it's culminating like this in Seattle, as it should. You know, if he's got something in the back of his mind that he thinks he might try a comeback or something, I wish he'd say out front that he might make a comeback instead of kind of leaving that out there.
Markakis aboard for the 4th time today. Harvey walks him to start the 7th inning.
He's had a great career. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I don't know what else there is that he needs to do or show. It's a hard thing to do, to hang it up, but boy, with all he's done, ought to make it a little bit easier.
Kurt Suzuki, a 2-run homer in the first. He's got a 5th inning single as well. One on, nobody out. And he pops it up. Shallow right center. Bruce battling, looking, can't find it. Conforto there, however, makes the play. Bruce had no chance. He was looking for help the moment that left the bat.
The way he was walking there, I thought he was going to tell Conforto, you go play right. I'm moving.
Here's Camargo. He'll turn around and hit left-handed. No luck right-handed today. Struck out twice in 3 trips. Yeah, Ichiro, I think you can make the case maybe the greatest singles hitter in baseball's history.
There's a guy who played for the Reds.
Yeah, he was pretty good too. One ball, no strikes. Pete Rose, of course, the pitch. But Ichiro's a guy that gave up his power to make consistent contact. He could have hit 20 home runs a year if he wanted to in the major leagues. But with great speed, great hand-eye coordination, put the ball pretty much wherever he wanted to. 2-0 count. That missed inside from Harvey. Ball 3.
Change-up, but it wasn't in a good spot. No way Camargo was going to offer at that.
And he takes a walk. So 2 of those in the inning. And Atlanta threatening to add on here in the 7th inning, already up 6. And here's Culberson. Charlie, a bunt single in the 4th. One of 11 Braves hits. Pulled that one outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Washington's winning again today, 3-0 over the Pirates. That game's in the 6th inning. Nationals are going for their 5th straight win. If they get it, they'll be back at 500. 1-0 pitch.
Yeah, they're coming around.
Bryce Harper, his first career leadoff homer to start a game. Matt Adams has hit 3 homers in the last 2 games. Nationals have outscored them 24-7 so far in that series. The pitch is fouled back to the screen.
Pittsburgh got off to a great start, but they have slowed down. But they're still coming into play today, just a game and a half back in the Central. That's pretty even over there.
Yeah, 1 through 4 separated by a game and a half. And we will be seeing the Cubs very soon. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it is. Downstairs, even count. Cubs having trouble scoring runs, and Yu Darvish has been a disappointment.
Got lit up again yesterday.
Now the 2-2 pitch is lined over short. That's in for a base hit. Here comes Markakis around to score. Streaking for third is Camargo, and he'll make it without a throw. And Charlie Culberson has a 2-hit day. His first RBI. It's 7-0 here in the 7th.
Now, Charlie, like we said at the beginning of the show, he needed to have a good day. No more at bats than he had. Bunt single and now an RBI single. Good for him. And good base running by Camargo, going first to third.
His first RBI as a Brave comes here in the 7th inning of game 30. And Atlanta's not done yet. Julio Teheran, first and third, 1 out. Julio with a 2-hit, 1 sacrifice day. Not to mention brilliant work on the mound. And he swings and skies one towards center. Camargo at third is going to tag. The Mets will concede that run. Have yourself a day, Julio Teheran, a sacrifice fly. And Atlanta cashes in 2 more walks, these against Matt Harvey.
You know, we talk about the team and all the little things they're doing right. You don't expect it to come from the pitcher unless they're putting down a bunt.
Well, last night I think they heard us talking about the 6, 7, 8 guys having some trouble. They're taking care of that today, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would.
And here's Ender again. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Didn't get it. Strike 1. 8 runs, 12 hits for Atlanta in game 3.
.95 on that fastball.
Hits is Atlanta's season high this year. They've got 12 so far today. And on this road trip, this is the 10th game. Atlanta's had double-digit hits 7 times.
That'll generally be enough. If you're hitting like they are with runners in scoring position.
And this is the 4th game in a row that they've had 10 or more. It's another walk, 3rd of the inning for Harvey. And the lineup rolls to the top again, and Ozzie Albies.
He can't throw his fastball where he wants. He's all over the place with that. You know, when I'm keeping score on my scorebook, I make a diamond, and when the runner that's on base scores, I fill it in. My scorebook on this road trip looks like a bunch of Argyle socks. There are so many diamonds filled in with runs scored. See, he's on one side or the other. He cannot locate like he used to, you know, that heat on the outside corner, the slider to keep you honest. but it starts with lack of fastball command.
Albies didn't get that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. I've got 58 of those Argyle sock patterns for Atlanta on the road trip.
Yeah. That was Blevins loosening up in the shade.
High fly ball cracked toward right center field. That one's got a chance. That ball is gone. Albies with a 3-run homer.
My goodness. He missed with the fastball in, he missed with the fastball away, swing and a miss, and then fastball down the middle. There was no miss.
Ten homers, 23 RBIs for Albies, the Atlanta leadoff man. 11 runs, 13 hits, and 3 big innings. 3 in the first, 3 in the fifth, 5 here in the seventh. And if Atlanta had visions of making a statement in New York to the Mets, I think they have made it. Here's Acuna. He's homered. A 451-foot laser beam that left his bat at 112 miles an hour.
3 walks in the inning for Harvey. They've all scored.
The 2-1 pitch is dumped into right center field. That's going to get down. Acuna's got a 3-hit day. And the Mets didn't want to go to Blevins, but they're going to have to go do it. That's going to be the end of the line for Matt Harvey. So the Braves punished Noah Syndergaard in game 1. They beat Paul Sewald in relief of an injured Jacob deGrom yesterday. They have hammered Vargas and Harvey, and the fans in New York are not happy. It is all Atlanta on getaway day. Here in New York, big blasts, big innings, big fun for the Braves, who are on their way to a 3-game sweep here in the Big Apple.
Keep in mind too how many times the Braves score in the first inning, and sometimes it's multiple runs in the first inning, and that does so much for your pitcher to give him a chance to make a mistake or two, but also, boy, it loosens everybody up in the lineup. We've already got 3 on the board, you know, let's get some more. Everybody's loose.
And how about what it does for your pitcher? No strikes, like you said, and that's instrumental in what Atlanta's been doing over their last 23-24 games. They've been able to settle in beautifully and pitch dominant baseball of late. This is Blevins versus Freeman. Freddie's owned him. And he bounces one up there. Mets only have one left-hander in their bullpen. And you're looking at it. Jerry Blevins. And Freddie Freeman has crushed head-to-head. He's 10 for 20 with 4 doubles. 5 runs already in for the Braves in the 7th. Good rip there for Freeman.
First 3 guys in the order have already hit. They've already been to the plate 5 times. We're in the 7th inning. Everybody else has already been up 4 times.
3-hit day for Acuna. 2-hit day for Albies. 3-hit day for Markakis. 2 hits for Suzuki. 2 for Culberson. 2 for Tehran.
Everybody's been talking about that 3rd time through the order being crucial these days for pitchers. Well, for Vargas, that 3rd time through the order started in the 4th inning.
And it's not good. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that got the home plate umpire. Nick Lentz spun away as he got hit with that foul ball straight back.
Just under that shoulder pad too. Everybody's sensitive to that. Catchers, hitters, they know when the umpire gets hit. Everybody wants to make sure everyone's okay.
Everybody's okay in that dugout today. 11-0, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And now a full count. As you know, Blevins wants to pitch Freddie carefully. He knows their head-to-head history. Problem is he has to deal with a red-hot Nick Markakis, who's next. And he would be the 10th batter to hit here in the 7th. Runner goes, and Freddie pulls it foul toward the Mets dugout. And we'll do it again, full count. Again, Acuna runs, and Freddie pops one up left side. Reyes won't have a play. That is on top of the Braves dugout. Freddie Freeman started the day tied atop the National League batting average pile with Adubel Herrera of the Phillies at .333. Nick Markakis was 5th. He's moving on up. Again the pitch. And Freddie's called out on strikes. And that ends the inning. 11-0 Atlanta after a 5-run 7th inning. What a game. Before Julio comes back to work for the Braves on the mound, let's send it back to our Atlanta studios for the stretch.
gets his due as one of the greatest players of all time. He was a hit machine. Specifically facing him, it didn't matter how good a pitch you executed or threw. He was great at getting the barrel on the ball, so you could throw a nasty sinker down and away off the plate. He would stay with it and drive it. So certainly a hitter that I did not like to face, faced him many times. He hit 308 off me. What an incredible player, Chip and Joe.
You're right about that, Paul. What a player. And what a performance for Julio Teheran, who faces Bruce, Cespedes, and Cabrera. That line score tells you all you need to know today. As Bruce takes outside, he has struck out twice today. 0 for 2 is Bruce. The Mets have had one base runner. It was Cespedes, who walked in the 4th inning. And for whatever reason, Joe, they are not seeing what Julio's throwing well at all today.
Great movement. Nothing straight. No two pitches alike back to back.
Little pop, shift is on, tough play. Can anybody get there? It'll be Camargo ranging out. He gets there to retire Jay Bruce, who tried to spoil the shift. There's out number 1. Look at Camargo make big strides.
Braves have looked a little sketchy on a couple of pop-ups in this series. One was today. Camargo was not having any of it. That was his ball all the way, and everybody get out of the way. He was calling it as soon as he broke for it.
Cespedes walked in the 4th. That is the Mets offensive highlight today. And upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Braves fans are watching in Kaohsiung, Taiwan today. Lee's Summit, Missouri. Monroe, Georgia. Omaha, Nebraska. And what a day to be catching the Braves on Fox here in New York. The 1-1 pitch stayed high to Cespedes. One of his best fastballs of the day at 90 miles an hour.
He's been getting plenty of rest between innings.
Popped up. Freddie gives chase. Suzuki 2 over near the Mets dugout, but that's into the fancy seats. It's 2-2. SunTrust Park will be rocking tomorrow night. Hope you'll join us. Chris Stratton and Mike Fultonevich hook up. First pitch 7:35. Braves live at 7. The home debut of Ronald Acuna Jr. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. 2 down in the 7th inning. Number 6 for Teheran.
Last inning was the only inning he hadn't struck out anyone. He got 3 ground ball outs. So again at 91, moving in on him. Couldn't get around on it.
Well, you remember what Julio told Paul Byrd in Braves Live? With all these youngsters doing what they're doing, as the KG veteran who's been here the longest, he wants in on this fun.
Yeah.
He is pitching brilliantly. He's gotten Cabrera twice, once via a strikeout. That was in the 2nd. He's been the Mets' best hitter all year. Enters action with the 4th best average in the National League. He's now hitting .321. And he is getting after it. 0-2.
Pitch count very manageable. In good shape there.
Cabrera wants time. Now he'll go back to work. 0-2.
He's not been shy about shaking off Suzuki too, to throw what he wants. Tried something backdoor there and just missed.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Little roller. And Cabrera stays alive.
And again, command is such an important part. We're talking about Harvey and his lack of command. Again, Suzuki showing Julio where he wanted that pitch, down low, even out of the zone, and that's where it was delivered. It's fun watching them work together here.
Another 1-2 pitch. In the air, down the line, and that's the first hit of the game for the Mets. As Dribble Cabrera breaks up the no-hit bid of Julio Teheran with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. A clean double.
And once again, that Kurt was showing that low target. I believe it was a slider. And the difference was this one was not down enough. It stayed up just enough that Cabrera could go down and golf it. Yeah, it was a slider. And not quite low enough. Now finish up the inning.
Conforto is the batter. Julio to the stretch for the first time since the 4th inning. Conforto struck out and flied out. So Kent Mercker remains the last Brave to throw a no-hitter. Julio took his bid into the 7th inning in New York in the series finale. And up and away. Ball 2.
You know, there was another thing about that game in Philadelphia when he tightened up, his shoulder muscle tightened up. It was cold that day. It was cold and windy. It's like 58 degrees at game time. Felt a lot chillier. It was damp. You know, I'm wondering if some of that cold weather finally caught up to him. Certainly not the problem today.
No. 91 degrees at first pitch. Only 87 pitches for Julio in this game. 2 balls and a strike.
A lot of swing and misses today.
And a lot of them up in the zone and down. I mean, he's painted corners. Now hitters will try to counteract that high strike the pitchers are using with such great effectiveness. They haven't been able to catch up against the Braves in this series. Pitch. Missed up and away. Full count. That's a rarity. Gonzalez is on deck. He's 0 for 2. Home fans trying to rally with the "Let's Go Mets" chant. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Cabrera at second with a lone New York hit in this game. And ball 4. So the inning extends. Here's Adrian Gonzalez. Let's see what Kurt Suzuki gets with this first pitch. It's a strike.
They've done a nice job in this series, game 1 and then today, of keeping Gonzalez a little off stride, getting him to swing. He's making contact on the change-ups, but no authority.
Little ground ball. Ozzie to his right. Long throw. Freeman has to come off the bag. Everybody's safe. I don't think Ozzie could have gotten to the second base bag ahead of Conforto. Not sure if Camargo was close enough to try to flip the ball for the force there. And his throw sailed high and wide out of reach of Freddie Freeman at the bag.
Yeah, that might have been one where Camargo needed to concede that he wasn't in a position to go get it and instead go to the bag. That was really the only play Ozzie had.
So a hit, a walk, an infield knock brings up Rosario, who's 0 for 2, and Chuck Hernandez is going to give Julio a little breather here. Remember, he hasn't pitched out of the stretch, but for one hitter in this game until this 7th inning.
Buys a little time for someone who's up in the bullpen. Jesse Biddle.
Braves got 7 innings out of Sean Newcomb last night. Soroka went 6 in his big league debut. Brandon McCarthy 5 1/3. Mike Fultonevich 6 innings his last time out. Julio had the injury shortened start in Philly. Newcomb went 6 in Cincinnati. Julio's an out away from pitching a complete 7 today. They'll try to preserve the shutout bid. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And missed upstairs, ball 1. Pop up. Freddie gives chase. Suzuki 2 over near the on deck circle and no play. Even count. Nationals still up 3-0 at home over the Pirates. That's now in the 8th inning. Dodgers are in Arizona later on tonight. Dodgers won 2-1 yesterday. Arizona needs a win today to win their 10th consecutive series to start the year.
It's amazing, isn't it? Solid playoff team last year.
The pitch. Now back. And Souza's back. I think he's going to be activated. He's been out for a while. Mike Lamb's coming back soon, too. The other story will be in Los Angeles, or accurately Anaheim. Robert Pujols is 2 hits away from 3,000. He faces Baltimore later on tonight. The 1-2 pitch. Lifted in the air and playable this time. Freddie in foul ground is underneath. 7 brilliant innings for Julio Teheran. He allowed 2 hits, 2 walks. He's got an 11-0 lead.
And by SunTrust. Confidence starts here.
Well, Dennis Eckersley, a great pitcher, used to have an expression when a hitter would hit a home run, he'd say they've gone bridge. Braves have gone bridge 4 times today. You saw those fans walking across the Shea Bridge spanning center field and right field here in New York. Great support for Julio Teheran, who has gone 7 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. Nick Markakis leads off the 8th inning. Still needs a triple for the cycle. Nick's been on base 4 times and has scored 3 runs. Plate umpire and first base umpire a little late getting back to the field. They got a cool drink of water. Got out of the hot sun. It's 91 degrees today.
Might have had a pretzel while he was over there too.
Several changes for New York, as this one looks to be salted away for Atlanta. 11-0. Conforto's in left, Lagares is in center, Brandon Nimmo is in right, and Wilmer Flores has taken over at second base. Broken bat pop-up. Nimmo in right, challenged immediately, and he makes the play. One down. Braves on their way to a 7-3 road trip. There's another amazing note for you. The last time the Braves finished above 500 on a road trip of at least 10 games, also in 2014. They went 6-4 through Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and New York. Also in that 2014 season, they had a road trip similar to this one. They went 8-3. Washington, Houston, and Philadelphia that season in late June. Just remarkable work on the mound, in the field, and at the plate.
Yeah, that was a different Houston team in those days too.
That's true. $26,882 paid to see it in New York.
It's the best crowd of the 3 days.
And many of them have headed for the subway. Disappointed for the third straight game with Atlanta in town. They'll hope for better luck with the Rockies, who play here next.
And the Rockies got here last night. Had a day game in Chicago and then an off day here today.
Lifted toward left. And Conforto comes in near the line, makes the play. That's out number 2. Johan scored his last time to the plate. He earned a walk against Matt Harvey. Julio Teheran brought him home with a sacrifice fly. Memory serves, the pitch is a little low. Braves got a 3-run homer from Albies as well in that inning.
Yeah, but it turned into a sacrifice fly for Teheran because Camargo hustled on the base hit by Culberson to go first to third and set up the sac fly.
Little pop foul ground. Gonzalez makes a nice running catch at first base. So Blevins works a 1-2-3 8th inning. Will Julio continue? We will find out in just a moment. Was Julio Teheran. He flirted with a no-hitter. He took it into the 7th inning, got the first 2 outs before Asdrubal Cabrera hit a slider into the right field corner. What a day for Julio, who continues to torment the Mets.
He is a Mets monster. They have visions of him at night when they don't want to. They want to see him. He shows up and scares the daylights out of them again. Great outing.
So Julio's work, our Zaxby's indescribably good play. More work, great work from the Atlanta rotation, which has allowed 1 earned run or less in 5 consecutive starts now. Jesse Biddle will get some late work. He's got the 8, 9, and 1 hitters starting things off for the Mets. Nito, the pitcher spot, then Jose Reyes.
Jesse Biddle getting his first big league hit, his first big league win. Pretty good road trip for him.
How cool is that in Philadelphia? In front of friends and family, facing the team that drafted him, all the injuries that Jesse had to deal with. And he told us on the bus what made that hit extra special was that was against one of his buddies with the Phillies. So he's got head-to-head bragging rights. As he delivers to Tomas Nido, the New York catcher. Went all the way to the screen. 3 balls and a strike.
Like Lobaton will hit for Blevins.
Now it's a full count. Jonas Familia is the Mets closer. He hasn't had a chance to pitch, so he'll get some work in the 9th inning. And a nice comeback by Biddle to strike out Nido. Mets hitters have struck out 7 times in Game 3 today. Good start for Jesse. 1 away.
Yeah, 95. Like he was painting.
Like what Paul Bird said, I think it was last night, about the Braves relief corps. They know that they have a lot of power arms down there. They know they have a lot of talent. They also know that they've been walking too many people. Let's hope that the new month will yield new results in that base on balls category. And in a game like this, throw it right down the middle and see how far they can hit it. Lobaton hitting 129 for New York. Bouncing ball, tricky hop, and a strong throw to first gets Lobaton for the 2nd out. And here's Reyes.
I want to ask Jesse when we get the chance, about this unique delivery he has, in that he doesn't really pick his right leg up. He just picks his foot off the ground and then basically takes a stride. I wonder if that's a way of keeping him back so that he doesn't try to overstride or overthrow. He's certainly got the arm.
Reyes takes a strike. 0 for 14 at home at the plate. Something we talked about in the early moments of the game. And that's despite a winning record here. Have had a few, shall we say, black holes offensively in their lineup here at Citi Field. And a pop up into straightaway center. Ender is there. He's got it measured up. It's 3 up, 3 down for Biddle, and we go to the 9th inning. All Atlanta looking for their 5th straight win. North South. We return home for a brief 3-game series with the San Francisco Giants. Our coverage begins with Braves Live at 7 o'clock. Our game streams live on Fox Sports Go. It's the Friday Night Showdown brought to you by Kaiser Permanente. And Mike Foltynewicz will get the ball for Atlanta. Joe coming off a terrific outing against the Phillies. Mike went 6 innings of 3-hit 1-run ball and was very efficient and effective in that game.
This is crazy. The last Braves starter to lose a game was Mike Foltynewicz on April 10th. That was the second game of the Washington series in the middle of the last road trip.
Wow.
Familia, you saw his numbers just in to get some work. Chance for Charlie Culberson to get a 3rd hit.
Good for him. Bunt single got him started in the 4th, an RBI single in the 7th, his first as a Brave. In that 5-run frame for the Braves, scored 3 in the 1st, 3 in the 5th. And he jumps on the first one and skies it right at Lagares. He'll backpedal a step or 2. And there's the first out. Braves are 3 outs away from a 7-3 road trip and winning 19 of their first 30 games. Evans went an inning and a 1/3 of perfect relief for New York, by the way. Had a strikeout. Atlanta struck out just 5 times in the first 8 innings.
Preston Tucker will get in at bat. Max Fried is throwing in the Atlanta pen.
And heads downstairs for Preston. 1 ball, no strikes.
Brandon McCarthy is scheduled to pitch Saturday for Atlanta against the Giants, but no starter has been announced for Sunday.
One ball, no strikes. Tucker a little late. Anibal Sanchez has been working out. He's trying to come back from his hamstring issues. Of course, you've got Soroka and how well he pitched here in New York.
Braves will miss Johnny Cueto too of the Giants, who's on the disabled list.
Joe Panik's out. As Tucker skies one backing out of play. Hey, you got to give Bruce Bochy's team a lot of credit. That's a team that many thought was going to be in real trouble with Madison Bumgarner out, hurt right before the start of regular season play. The Giants have hung in there despite losing Cueto, Samardzija, and Bumgarner. They're game over 500. And lurking 5.5 games behind Arizona.
Samardzija's back, but he is not scheduled to pitch in that series, so they miss him too.
Always got to worry about Buster Posey. He hits well against the Braves. So a fun series starts tomorrow night. We hope you'll join us. 1 ball, 2 strikes, base is empty, and sky foul again.
And the addition of 2 excellent veteran players in Longoria and McCutchen too.
Andrew McCutchen got hit on the elbow yesterday at the plate. Don't know how serious that was. But that would be another big loss for the Giants if he can't go.
Well, I hope he can. I like watching him play.
Me too. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Foul back. Tucker putting up a great fight, and he is turning it loose. He is grunting like Paul Bunyan with every swing of the bat here in the 9th inning against Familia. That's to try to get back on track with the Colorado Rockies coming here next. Wheeler, Matz, and Syndergaard, the 3 pitchers for New York. Marquez, Bettis, and Freeland will pitch for the Rockies. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Look how windy it is. Wrappers, all kinds of debris blowing around the infield.
What a battle.
Yeah, it's great. It's 8 pitches for Tucker so far. And there's some of that debris that's right behind the pitcher's mound. The pants legs of Bill Welke rippling in the strong breeze.
That's interesting. Familia didn't want to put that in his back pocket. Called out the bat boy to give him the wrapper.
2-2 for Tucker. Shift on for him in the top of the 9th pitch. Love it. These are good, encouraging signs for Preston. Atlanta has an interleague matchup coming up on the next road trip with the Tampa Bay Rays. DH will be in play at Tropicana Field. I think Tucker would get a chance in those games, as this one's hammered toward left. Long run, Conforto. He's not going to get it. It's off the wall. Tucker flying towards second. He slides in with a double. Another great Atlanta at bat. And that's 14 Braves hits today.
And just another double that was this close to being a home run. Familia got tired of messing with him, threw a fastball down the middle and almost paid for it with a homer.
And I shortchanged the Braves. That's 15 hits, 6 of them for extra bases today. And here's Ender. He's walked twice, scored once. Jammed and hit towards second. And a quick release got him by a quarter step.
Boy, that was close.
Tucker at third, 2 outs. And Ozzie Albies is coming up, his 13th multi-hit game today, capped by a 7th inning 3-run homer. That came against Matt Harvey.
You know, the multi-hit games are real impressive unless you're getting like 7 at bats a game.
Oh, it's only a 286 average.
Yeah. This is his 6th at bat today.
And Familia makes him move his feet. Let's see where he ranks in at bats. He's first in total bases. Ozzie, he's first in runs, first in doubles. Ground ball hit towards second, and a throw to first sends us to the bottom of the 9th inning. Atlanta is 3 outs away from an incredibly impressive sweep in New York.
Sack up the bats.
They're hitting him long, they're hitting him hard, and they're hitting him very frequently, Joe.
Into the upper tank, second tank in this case. He did the same thing in Cincinnati. Ozzie, 402 feet to right center. His 10th homer of the year. How about these numbers? Last 5 games, the Braves have only allowed 4 runs. They've out-homered their opponents 10-2, and the starters 1 run in 20 innings against the Mets. Awesome work.
Yeah, Cespedes and Michael Franco, the only 2 hitters that have hit a homer against the Braves in the last 5 games. And now it's Max Fried's turn to pitch in the 9th inning. He's got the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up for New York. The Mets have 2 hits. That's it. And the first one to Nimmo is in for a strike at 93 miles an hour. At the knees, a perfect pitch. Braves haven't swept the Mets here since September of 2016. They're 3 outs away from taking care of that. As that breaking ball missed inside badly, 1-2 your count. Max ready. Here it is. It's just outside and a little too low. Braves did a lot more 2-out damage in this game. Six 2-out runs. That gives them 83 of those to start the season. After getting ahead 0-2, Fried's run it full.
This is an important inning for Max Fried. I know it's 11-0. The Mets know the game is out of reach, but for Max Fried, he's given up runs in each of his first 2 outings. And
leadoff walk.
And walks are not a good way to cure that. It's 11-0. Come out, be aggressive, throw strikes, and get back on track.
Here's Lagares. His first trip to the plate. Up the middle, a base hit. So the Mets have 2 on, nobody out. And Wilmer Flores is the hitter. Flores got the start last night and went 1 for 4. Pinch hit in the 9th inning of game 1 and drove in a run with a ground out. He does not run well. A ground ball might get you 2. Out of play foul, a strike. Well, I think it's safe to say, Joe, that the Atlanta Braves came to town and have given the Mets a thoroughly demoralizing series. They beat Syndergaard, jumped all over him in the first inning, held on to win that one. DeGrom left after 4 innings with an injury that the Mets hope he will be able to overcome in time for his next start. And today, Vargas, making his 2nd start of the year with the Mets, coming off a disastrous 9-run outing against the Padres, got ambushed for 6 runs in fewer than 5 innings today.
Yeah, they certainly got their attention. They got the Mets' attention. And what they did in Philadelphia coming in here, winning the last 2 games of that series.
Flores hit that. He stays alive. 0-2. Giants this weekend. 2 in Tampa Bay Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, then 4 down in Miami. We have a makeup game against the Cubs in Chicago. Then the Cubs come to Atlanta May 15, 16, and 17. Swing and a miss. Flores is down on strikes. Fried has out number 1 in the 9th.
The other way, more aggressive, getting ahead, better chance for swings and misses.
Here's Conforto. He's 0 for 2 and 3 for 24 at home at the plate. Ball 1. The other great thing about this series for Atlanta is the way that they've been playing on the road trip, the way they got this series started, is there's all of a sudden a national buzz about this team. This is not just a regional phenomenon for Atlanta. All the baseball networks are taking note. Braves players were very busy and active on the MLB network while we were in town. Julio Teheran appeared. Ozzie Albies was out there. Dan Winkler and Kurt Suzuki all getting some national attention for their good work in the season's first month. One pitch is a little low. Ball 2.
2 errors on the trip too. That's it.
Two balls and a strike. Conforto didn't get that. It's 2-2. So here we are. We're 30 games in now. That's no longer, I think, a small sample size. That's a pretty good indicator of what your team is. Roughly 20% of the way through. Right now, this is a young, exciting, athletic team. It's having a lot of fun playing the way they're playing. He heats up Conforto upstairs. Back-to-back strikeouts for Fried, and now Atlanta's an out away.
Out away. 94, top of the zone, 95. Ate him up. No, that's always, I think, it's a typical answer anytime you ask a baseball person, you know, what's the best evaluation? How many games do you have to play to figure out, you know, what you have? And most of the time it's about 30 games, about a month. And like you said, this is an athletic team. It's fast. It can hit. And after 1 month of pitching, the starting pitching has been very good. The bullpen is coming around.
They're playing baseball.
Yes.
They are playing baseball, and that sounds like a trite comment. It's not. They're doing all the little things that make this such a fun game. As Gonzalez swings and misses, Atlanta's a strike away from a 3-game sweep.
They're coming home with a 5-game winning streak.
Braves fans on their feet in New York. As Fried's ready, here comes the 0-2 pitch to Adrian Gonzalez. It is caught on and missed. That's your ball game. How sweep it is in New York. Atlanta shuts out the Mets 11-0. They are 19-11. And in a 2-hour and 40-minute masterpiece, the Braves earn their 5th straight victory. They have a 7-3 road trip, and they extend their divisional lead.
And we will see you all tomorrow night at SunTrust Park. Be there with bells on because this is fun.
11-0 Atlanta. The Braves get home runs from Kurt Suzuki, Ronald Acuna, Nick Markakis, and Ozzie Albies. And the Braves throttle New York with a 3-hit shutout at Citi Field. This was a lot of fun, and again, more fun to talk about. As Joe just said, Atlanta's heading home with a 7-3 trip and a 5-game winning streak. We'll talk about that, recap our trip, our series with the Mets, and preview the Giants coming up on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. Can't wait to talk about another exciting 11-0 Atlanta win. That's coming right up.